Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Wizard Weekly, where we bring you news and humor from around the spiral. Or we would bring you news if there were any. Things have been pretty quiet in Wizard City this week. Even Kingsile's monthly newsletter has been pretty sparse, but we've got some news for you in the Power Pip this week. Gilroy LH returned to face off against a tournament newcomer, Anis Rinata, in the Wizard 101 Central 200th Tournament mid-level final match, and let me tell you what, it was the ultimate in old-school smackdowns. Bubbles were popping, minions were dropping, and both our competitors brought it all to the table in this best-of-3 match. Anis opened up by summoning a Cyclops General to purvey a pounding upon Gilroy, who had to conjure up an early blizzard to deal with the mythical minion, doling out some serious damage at the same time and denying Anis another minion as she quickly tried to resummon. It looked as though Anis was on the ropes, but Gilroy's Blizzard Fest left him pipless and powerless to stop Anis as she sprited up, using a Minotaur and Humongo Frog combo to turn the tables. Both sides summoned minions, but Gilroy's was leveled immediately by another Minotaur as Annie's living puppet handed out some harassment with a myth bat that took Gilroy's shield. It met its end to a life imp, and Gilroy decided he'd had enough, striking out with a Blizzard and Permafrost combo that forced Anis to scramble for a heal, using all her pips on a reshuffle. Pipless and without shields to defend herself, Anis could only watch as Gilroy's Permafrost left her on ice, ending round 1. Round 2 started with minions abound, but Anis wasn't about to give Gilroy any leeway after her defeat in the last match, greeting both he and his Colossus with a powerful Humongo Frog. Gilroy struck back with a blizzard that knocked Anis' Cyclops General ride out of the ring, but Anis used the opportunity to strike out with a Minotaur that halved Gilroy's health and forced him to choose between healing himself or dealing with Anis' brand new Cyclops minion. With her side secure, Anis struck out with another powerful Minotaur that nearly had Gilroy on the floor, and even the Cyclops minion decided to dig in while their opponent was panting for breath. Her power play left her pipless though, and Gilroy was able to make a near-full recovery. Another Minotaur by Anis had Gilroy scrambling to heal again just as soon as he'd gotten back on his feet, and with pips aplenty, Anis powered up for a takedown. With his sprites healing happily away, Gilroy thought he was in the safe, retaliating with 2 back-to-back blizzards, but Anis' corrosive attacks had eaten through enough of Gilroy's defenses, and with one more Humongo Frog he was taken out. Anis had won the second round, sending this game into a third match. It was the last match, and both competitors stepped into the arena with everything on the line. Anis' minion got a cold reception as Gilroy summoned one of his own, but that didn't last long either as a powerful Minotaur slashed it to slush. It was a bad night to be a minion. They were mashed, mangled, and mopped up time and time again as their owners went toe-to-toe. As their health dwindled, it looked like the match was over, but a lucky sprightly on both sides of the field brought both competitors back into the safe zone and the battle was in full swing again. Gilroy put the hurt on Anis, countering her sprite with a powerful Permafrost and nailing her with a blizzard the next round. She managed to rebound with enough pips to cast a Humongo Frog that left Gilroy in a bad way. Luckily for him, though, she'd run out of pips, and she had no means of finishing him off, giving him time to deal with her minion and dole out some hurt of his own, leveling the playing field. Hoping to corner Anis while she was weak, Gilroy summoned yet another minion of ice, and Anis was forced to deal with it, spilling the last of her pips into a Minotaur. Determined not to be kicked while she was down, she even got physical, slapping her opponent around with a spinning sword attack. The battle raged through the night and into the morning, both combatants giving it all until finally Gilroy struck out, layering 2 Permafrosts on Anis for the kill and for the prize. Congratulations to Gilroy LH on winning the Wizard 101 Central 200th mid-level tournament and the 60,000 crown prize, to Anis Rinata who came in second taking home a 20,000 crown prize, and to Shadowrunner 13 who snagged the runner-up spot in 10,000 crowns. Wizard Weekly would like to send our thanks out to all the mid-level competitors for letting us film their matches and for making this mid-level tournament such a cool competition. This week in Better Homes and Gardens, we'll be touring the Lightweilder household, home to Katherine Lightweilder and her 2 sons, Gabriel and Wolf. Katherine and her boys have transformed this home into a Mannequin City with a bustling fairgrounds area that is mostly crafted and has a bandstand for special occasions. On the far side of the city is a graveyard where the souls of mannequins lost wander aimlessly, and where the living can pay a visit to the departed. The living can also pay a visit to the magnificent mannequin arena that Katherine and her sons built in their central courtyard, with spectators all around, 2 combatants locked in an eternal duel, a concession stand in case you get the munchies, and overlooking it all are the king and queen of the outdoor city. For those mannequins who want to get away from the noise, there's a small secluded park tucked away in the back of the courtyard where they can chitter-chatter or do whatever it is mannequins do to talk. Inside their home, the mannequin madness continues. You walk into a cozy lounge with a bartender to serve up any soda you would like, and a versatile musician who will take your every request. Whether or not he plays them is another story entirely. Just outside the lounge is the girls' room, right next to a small library and reading area where you can sit and relax with a good book or study a learning crystal. Below that is the boys' room, which, looks like a boys' room. With a roaring fire and a messy bed, this is where the boys stay the night. It's conveniently located right next to the dun-dun-dun timeout corner. Up the stairs is Katherine's office, which she says is so small because she hates working. I couldn't help but notice just how close it was to the kitchen, with a mannequin staff to make sure the boys don't snitch any cookies. Not so sure about their mum, though. Through a secret passage is the way to the secret laboratory where Katherine and her sons bring their mannequins to almost life. Back down the secret passageway and just past the kitchen is the magnificent banquet hall looked over by the king of the indoor city. Here the mannequins can gather for meetings, eatings, or just to socialize. Outside the banquet hall is a serene shrine with busts to the great Muda. The shrine serves a dual purpose, though, acting as an escape route to a small campsite that has apparently been run over by wild claws. The Lightweilder's household is a truly magical one where they can get together and be a family, or their friends, both mannequin and wizard alike, can play, party, dance, or just hang out in the giant banquet hall. Her banquet hall kind of reminded me of another amazing banquet hall that's famous for its dozens of floating candles up by the ceiling, so that's going to be our housing glitch for today. What you'll need for this glitch are several labeled crates. Crates of pudding or crates of jelly beans will do. Several small candles, you can find these on the bazaar. And a tatami mat from Mushu. What we're going to do first is we're going to move our crates side by side. Take your tatami mat and rotate it so it's the long way across the crates. And then take one of your candles and place it on the crate you want it to stay on. Now move the other crate away. The tatami mat should come with it. You can stack the crate with a candle on it, and then rotate it until the candle no longer moves. Move the entire assembly away from underneath it. Ta-da! You have yourself a floating candle. Now I'm pretty sure there are easier ways of doing it, but this is the way I learned how. You can use it to make your own banquet hall, or just add ambience to any room. All this talk of banquet halls has Mason 10's Sweet Tooth howling so loudly we can hear it over here at Letters from the Spiral, and it asks us, do you think King's Eye will ever make a world based on candy? I sure hope not. Can you imagine millions of wizards in a world made of candy? Forget questing there, we'd be bouncing around like gobblers gone goo-goo, and my strict diet would be ruined, and by strict diet I mean coffee, cake, and ramen noodles. Seriously though, I don't think it's too far-fetched to see a world of candy. I mean, we live in a world of wizardry. Maybe it's where the gobblers on Colossus Boulevard came from. Maybe we'll have to liberate it from whatever drove the gobblers out in the first place. It may even be the next side story world, kind of like Grizzledheim and Wintertusk. Who knows? Mandy would like to know, will you ever add a crew to Wizard Weekly so you don't have to do everything yourself? I'm going to be keeping Wizard Weekly a solo act for a few good reasons. First and foremost is because I'd have to exchange email addresses with people to get their videos, which is against the rules on both Wizard 101 and Wizard 101 Central, and quite honestly, it's not something I'd feel comfortable doing anyway, so I wouldn't do it even if it wasn't against the rules. Also, with just me working on it, I'm not waiting for anyone. Or I'm not covering for anyone at the last second because they couldn't get their work done. If it's just me, I can slap it together Friday afternoon and I'm good to go. Sure, it comes out later some nights than others, but it does eventually come out. Finally, it would be rather costly. Wizard Weekly wasn't quality material at first, but it is now, and I'd really like to keep it that way. The recording software I use is $40, and asking someone to invest that kind of money into something like Wizard Weekly is kind of silly, and it's certainly not anything I could cover. I'm thrilled that so many witches and wizards like Wizard Weekly enough to want to participate in its creation, and I truly appreciate your offers to help, but Wizard Weekly will remain a one-man band. Our last question today comes from Chris Song, who wonders, do you think that Wizard 101 has lost its magical feel? I don't think Wizard 101 has so much lost its magical feel as we've lost what I'm going to call our child eyes. When we first started out playing, it was like we were kids. We were new to Wizard 101 and we had a lot of learning to do. Everything was a new adventure. You were super psyched to get your new spell regardless of what it was because it was something awesome and new, and now we've kind of grown too used to that. There aren't any surprises left, and we've come to know the game so well that we can kind of anticipate what's coming next, even if it's in new content. If you're beginning to feel this way about Wizard 101, it may be time to put the game down just for a little while. You don't have to go on a month-long sabbatical or anything, just lean back on your gameplay a little. Once you stop seeing the same thing over and over again, you'll start to realize just how shiny it is once again. That's all for this week's Wizard Weekly. Thank you all for tuning in this week, and don't forget to join us next week for more news and humor from around the Spiral. Have a great weekend, everyone! Face off against a tournament newcomer Anis Rinata in the World Series. Yes, there's a World Series in Wizard Central. Scrambling to heal again just as soon as he's gotten his feet back under him with plenty of The living can also pay a visit to the magnificent Mannequin arena that I Englishing goodly can, yes. The serene shrine with busts of